Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Laubach. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're tackling the Navigation Acts. They were a series of laws passed by England to regulate colonial trade. So let's set the stage. The time is the mid 1600s. England is competing with other European powers like the Dutch, French, and Spanish. To make sure its colonies served England's economic interest, Parliament, the lawmaking body in England, passed the Navigation Acts. It was a bundle of trade laws stretching from 1651 to the mid 1700s. These laws were rooted in the philosophy of mercantilism, or mercantilism, the idea that the colonies existed only to enrich the mother country. So let's go through some examples of the Navigation Acts. There was the Navigation Act of 1651. This one required that all trade to and from England or the colonies had to be carried on English ships. This was a direct attack on Dutch traders, who dominated the Atlantic commerce at this point. The Navigation Act of 1660. This expanded the system. Certain enumerated goods, meaning named goods, like tobacco, sugar, cotton, and later rice, indigo, and naval stores or supplies, such as tar and pitch, could only be exported to England or another English colony. The Navigation Act of 1663, also known as the Staple Act. This one hit colonists hard. It said that all goods imported into the colonies from Europe had to pass through English ports first. So if a colonist wanted French wine or Dutch cloth, it had to stop in England, get taxed, and only then could it cross the Atlantic to the English colonies. The Navigation Acts of 1673. This required duties on goods traded between colonies and created new customs regulations to crack down on smuggling. Smuggling started to become a big thing in the colonies, a way to avoid these customs and duties which would be placed on goods. But the laws didn't stop there. By the late 1600s and 1700s, Parliament kept tightening control. The Navigation Acts of 1696 set up a royal customs official in the colonies and created vice admiralty courts to try smugglers. Now, these courts would try the alleged smugglers without juries. The Wool Act of 1699 banned the export of colonial wool to protect England's textile industries. The Hat Act of 1732 restricted colonial hat making and sales. The Iron Act of 1750 allowed colonies to send raw iron to England, but limited their ability to build ironworks in the colonies. Now, what was the impact of the Navigation Acts? On the positive side for England, these laws strengthened English shipbuilding, built up its navy, and guaranteed markets for goods like tobacco. But for colonists, the story was different. The acts restricted trade, discouraged manufacturing, and encouraged widespread smuggling as merchants looked for ways around the rules. Over time, resentment grew. Colonists felt England was using them as a source for raw materials and as a captive market, while denying them economic freedom. The Navigation Acts did not cause the American Revolution, which would happen later in the 1700s, but it did plant the seed of resistance and a sense that England was unfairly restricting colonial life in America. So whenever you think of the Navigation Acts, think of them as England's way of keeping its empire profitable, and the colonies' first taste of the kind of control they would later reject, leading to the American Revolution. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learn more about the Navigation Acts. Have a great rest of the day.